for the people that aren't green-thumbed, this DIY is for you. I'm getting pretty good at keeping my plants alive, but for some reason I just can't keep cactus or succulents alive. Either they're overwatered or they're underwatered, and I can just never keep them happy. Hi, my name is Letitia. I do DIY home and fashion. So if you want to see more DIY content, be sure to like and subscribe to this video. This video is in partnership with Cricut again. If you missed it, you should see my previous Cricut video where I do DIY wall art. That was my first time ever using a Cricut. So this is level upping on my Cricut game as a Cricuter. Cricut has proven to be just super versatile in allowing me to craft in new ways that I've never tried before. It cuts over 300 materials, so what I'm dabbling in today is just the tip of the iceberg. And today we're going to be doing DIY faux plants as well as planters. So for the people that aren't green-thumbed, this DIY is for you. I actually have my own Pilea plant here. This little guy. Using the shapes tool, I inserted a few varieties of circles into Cricut design space, with the biggest being about 3 inches, then 2.5, and then 2-ish. I keep learning new things, but design space will automatically arrange your shapes to minimize offcuts and fit as much into the smallest area possible onto your mat. You know what I also learned now that I am a Cricut head? They just think of everything. I ended up printing 17 circles on my mat using this collection of green cardstock. I'll link all my materials used in the description. My machine is the Cricut Maker, and all of the DIYs in this video are simple, one-layered designs that even beginner Cricut users like me can attempt. After weeding, cut through all your circles to the center, then overlap the edges slightly to make a little cup, and then tape it up. I used washi tape because it's the only green tape that I have, but I don't think that glue will hold it as well as tape will. I have wire here that I wrapped with floral tape, which proved to be very tricky, and then I bent it at the end like so. Then I used glue gun to stick my leaves to the stem, and figured out later that it's easier to apply the glue to the base of the stem instead of all over the leaf. I have this, and I have a green foam, some moss. See if we can put these together. So you see that the Pilea grows one big trunk. This is like the mama. I've given away so many babies to friends. I actually like the look of the babies more because this big barky trunk, which has dropped a lot of leaves, it can grow. It grows vertically, and it just keeps growing and growing, and the leaves just keep growing. It kind of grows like Brussels sprouts. You are my muse, mama. I would sort of decide where the front is gonna face. This is nice. Not so nice. My mom and I have always wanted to take floral arrangement classes. She's more of a flower lady. I'm more of a plant lady. If you see this one, it also turns because it faces wherever the sun goes. Very nice. Use some craft moss to cover up the foam block, and it gives the faux plant an extra natural boost. Apparently this is also called the Chinese money plant, which is something that I learned. I loved how leggy this Pilea is compared to my more like tree trunky Pilea, and now I won't have to worry about my leaves dropping. I decided to dedicate a planter to my favorite decor item in the house, which is my rug. Can you get too much checker print things? I'd say no, many would say yes. I traded for this concrete planter, which has a great shape, but the strange greenish gold legs were not cutting it for me, so I spray painted them black. For the checker print, I'm using powder blue permanent vinyl. I imported a wavy checkered print according to the dimensions of my planter, which was 8 inches tall. A good tip when cutting your vinyl is to leave a bit of seam allowance. The Cricut won't cut to the edge, and there will be a 1/2 inch border all around to ensure it fits the whole image. You can easily weed the negative space by starting at the border the Cricut leaves, and you can even repeat this checkered pattern on something else with your excess bits. Ow. So I have my 2 pieces. I put transfer tape on them. I'm gonna try and do this as seamless as possible. The key to rolling on a pattern is to take your time, and if you're matching end pieces, I actually cut and pasted sections in order to fit where it needed to go. I think it helps that this is not a perfect checker print, so that some waviness is forgivable. I didn't match the end to the beginning, so I disconnected a couple of squares and patched it to fit it in a bit better. That'll be hidden as the back of the planter. I was worried that the powder blue wasn't going to stand out against the concrete, but also I didn't want to cover up the texture that it creates, so I'm glad that this worked out so well. I think it would look even cooler if the legs were spray painted like an electric cobalt blue or a bright orange. The Fishbone Cactus is so wacky that it almost doesn't look real. It's like someone took a squiggly pen and just went wild. I'm going to start by importing a variety of fishbone tendril shapes into Cricut Design Space. I'm using the same cardstock from the green cardstock collection, but varying 2 different light greens. I'm going to cut a bunch of versions of these, and then while they're getting cut, I'm going to keep weeding, see how they're turning out. I added little spikes to the end so that it'll hopefully stick into the styrofoam a bit better. You see they're curling on their own. Usually if you don't want things to curl, you peel the mat like this. But because I want them curled, I don't mind. Oh, even with the scraps I can make extras just with scissors. These are perfect. With the excess, I ended up with a giant pile of fronds, so I'd say you only need 2 to 3 sheets for this. As RuPaul would say, we're patting to the gods. There. Make sure you grab a good mix of color. I think that's why I tossed my salad here. It helps. With the foam block, I'll make some cuts so I can easily insert the leaves through. When you're slicing the foam, make sure you vary the direction of the cut to make it look as natural as possible. I was going to fill in the sides with gravel, but it was so lush that I don't even need it. I've never even seen this cactus available to buy, and all my cactuses take a long time to grow, so it's nice that I have a full-grown plant that I made within a day. I love the dollar store clay pot. It's such a great basic pot, and the color and material leaves so much potential because of the rough, unfinished surface. It's perfect to stencil and paint. This melty smiley face pattern is so popular online, very Y2K, I just couldn't find the original artist online. I imported the print into Design Space and cut it on stencil vinyl, something that proved to be very useful, especially with the grid lines. I matched the pot to an area I liked on the pattern and cut to the height of the pot. Then, using transfer paper, I picked up the stencil vinyl and applied it to the pot. It's important to burnish as well as possible because if you leave air bubbles, it'll leak through when you spray paint. This is where stencil vinyl is so great because you can peel and re-stick to reposition. On the lip of the pot, I'll position, cut, then overlap the stencil bits, taping them down as added measure. I was hoping to do the same for the tray, but it proved to be too difficult. The stencil vinyl is a bit thick, and it needs to be that way to prevent bleeding, so I just added a white trim instead. Turn the pot and the dish upside down before spraying so you keep the lip and the inside clean. To minimize any bleeds, spray directly facing the pot and work around it in sweeps, avoiding spraying from an angle. The stencil really helps with making sure that the lines stay crispy. Like the Wavy Checkered, it helps that it's already a distorted print so that if you have little mistakes, it's a little more forgiving. I hope this turned out okay. I love it. This planter really invites you to take a closer look. The melty smiles look like they're sliding off. People are biologically drawn to find faces in things, so once you do a double take, you realize this is a bunch of happy faces. This has been such a step up in my crafting game, and if you want to see more DIY videos, you can check the link in the description. I'm starting to realize that some of my best DIYs are made with this mighty machine. Let me know in the comments which of these DIYs are your favorite, and if you recreate any of them, you can tag me on Insta at LetitiaQ. I'd love to share them, and I will see you in my next DIY. Bye.